Hello, hello, and welcome
Hi.
to another Bowtie Business Spotlight. And today with me, I have Melissa Davis-Schmit, and she is a part of the local Make-A-Wish here. And I would just say Nebraska. We're here in Lincoln, and I am a realtor in the Lincoln, Omaha area. So how are you doing today, Melissa?
I am awesome. How about you?
I'm wonderful. I would say the only thing is that if there's one thing Nebraska could learn when it comes to weather is to tame the wind. You know, these amazing sunny warm days would actually be warm, but they're still
Yeah,
bringing in that cold air. So that's the
we get
only
we
thing.
get the wind, and it just brings us back to reality of what time of year it really is. But
Yep,
yeah,
exactly. So we'll just get right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and then the local chapter of Make-A-Wish.
yeah, absolutely. My name, like you said, is Melissa Davis-Schmit, and I'm the regional director for our Lincoln office. So we have Make-A-Wish is made up of chapters all across the country. There is not a spot in the U.S. where there is not a chapter. Everywhere somebody can find a local chapter to get their child a wish. We in Nebraska are really fortunate that our boundaries are very clear. They are the boundaries of Nebraska. So we are granting wishes to Nebraska children. When we raise dollars, it's staying right here and helping make kids' wishes come true. So, a lot of people still believe that myth that Make-A-Wish is only for terminally ill children. And so I love having this opportunity to share with you that we are serving critically ill children. Typically, that means that it's something that's progressive, degenerative, or malignant. And so, if that child is out there, we want to make sure that we grant them a wish.
Yeah. And so when it comes to obviously your position and everything, how did you get involved with Make-A-Wish?
I got really lucky. Actually, I started fundraising for Make-A-Wish when I was in college. My sorority, I went to Nebraska Wesleyan, and I was a member of Willard sorority, and we were fundraising for Make-A-Wish in that time, which feels, like 100 years ago.
A couple of years
And
ago.
yeah, now working on the Make-A-Wish side, and digging through those archives a little bit, I really do think Willard was one of our first groups that was fundraising on our behalf in the mid 80s. So that's a pretty cool thing to then now get to work for Make-A-Wish. So I just got really lucky, honestly. My background's in psychology and I have my master's in social work. And so the need and goal to help people has always been a part of my DNA. And I got really lucky that when I saw this position advertised in the paper, I was able to apply, and I'm fortunate. 10 years later, I still count myself as incredibly blessed to get to be a part of this incredible mission and meet these kids in our families that are inspiring and motivate me to just keep going.
Yeah, that is really cool how one of the groups that you're in, what kind of led the groundwork of it, and it just kind of transformed to that. Do they still continue is that still it is?
It is, yep. Still today, they still fundraise, and we still have a great partnership with them. It's been ever since, like I said, from the mid 80s. It's always been there. And actually, my oldest daughter, is actually a member of Willard, so that's been super fun to watch her now get even more involved. She's always, obviously, since I've been working with Make-A-Wish, she was 10 and
Wow.
started volunteering and getting involved. And so, yeah, another layer of that is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
fun to
awesome.
watch. Yeah,
That is cool how it's full circle, and
yeah.
maybe one day she's going to be right there with you.
Honestly, it could happen. It could happen. She's following in her mother's footsteps of also social work. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and my other daughter is possibly she's looking at nursing, and so who knows, she may be one of the people referring to us.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
never know.
Definitely. Well, what Melissa's going to do now is she's going to share her screen and take us on a journey through Make-A-Wish, Nebraska.
Absolutely. So our website is also connected and integrated with our national website. So you will see right up here, Make-A-Wish Nebraska. we can go down here and we will in a moment go through some of the different things about our chapter. You can find out like who is our staff, who's on our board, any positions or internships that we have, how we go about, managing our funds. That's really important that we're transparent to our donors. So people are able to go through and look on here. We're a four-star rating on Charity Navigator. We're one of the very few that has done it for 8 years in a row. That's pretty unheard of. And then, if people are needing some sort of a media connection, our wonderful Emily in our Omaha office is there. And so kind of, again, how people can find us. If you are a sucker for wish stories, and I certainly am, you can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. We are always trying to share our stories because that honestly is one of the most exciting things that I think is true to who we are. You also are able to come up and see what events are happening around the state. So we've got a couple in out of our Omaha office, and we have one our Norfolk Golf Tournament. So Lincoln, obviously, we just got done having our gala, and thank you for participating in that, Paul. It was so fun. And so you can find out what's happening locally here. Like I said, one of my favorite places to go is to our stories, where you can click on and learn more about some wishes that have happened across our state. And then you can also go to ways to help. There are so many different ways that people can get involved that I think sometimes we think of, if I don't have a ton of time or I don't have a ton of money, then I don't have anything to offer. And that for us couldn't be further from the truth. So we have people that make monthly gifts to us of $10 a month. And you know what? It absolutely adds up, and it absolutely has an impact. We have people that plan fundraisers on our behalf, and we are really grateful. We have 11 staff right now, and so we need volunteers and people who are willing to jump in and help us out all the time. That's an amazing thing that we're really grateful for. Again, our volunteers, they are the backbone of helping us make wishes come true, whether it is by planning an event, being part of our groups. We have a Young Leaders Council and a Friends Council here in Lincoln that we are sometimes, we're always trying to build those groups up. Or becoming a wish granter. Those are our folks that meet with the wish families and help determine what the true wish is. And then sometimes we have corporate sponsors. And then there's many other ways to support Make-A-Wish. I'm going to click on that quick because, again, I don't know that people always realize all the different ways, whether people want to adopt a wish. You can actually, again, we're not having travel wishes right now due to the pandemic, but we know that kids will be traveling again in the future. If you have airline miles that are going to expire, that is something that people are able to donate to us, and then we are able to group those with other unused miles from folks, and that obviously transform directly into wishes. So airline miles are a great one. We have a car donation program. You can just click on it. It walks you right through the process. It's very simple. I actually had somebody on the phone last week that was trying to do it, and we don't get that call often, but I walked through it with them. It took maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It didn't take long at all. In-kind gifts are huge for us. That is a significant portion of how we're able to make those donor dollars go further. So we love when we have people that want to give an in-kind gift or service. We've had people do toy drives. We've had people, donate limo rides or whatever. Planned giving, of course, people being able to leave a gift in the future. That's a great, it's a great point for us to be able to make sure that somebody's legacy is that of wishes. So sometimes we have products and promotions that are being shared. So it could be anything from, we've had bracelets from some national partnerships to it could be local, a local restaurant doing a night. People are able to do stock donations. And then there's also, we are part of the Community Services Fund. And so that's a workplace giving program where people can designate us. So those donations, again, whether it's $10 a month or, more, they really do make a huge impact on our ability to continue to grant those local wishes. So I want to show you up here. We just have a ton of stuff. And again, this is more kind of at the national level. People can find local chapters. So if you have a relative in another area of the country, there is a chapter for them. And so you can find more information there. The impact of a wish, again, this is probably one of my favorite parts because I love the wish stories. And so you can see that we are about strength and hope and transformation and community. Again, that ways to get involved. You can find out more of that here. And then again, importantly, how do you refer a child? We do not ever want a child to go without a wish if they would qualify. And so all of our referrals are happening online. And so people are able to go right online and make that referral for that child. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this and showcase how people can get more information about Make-A-Wish. And obviously people can always call one of our offices if they need additional information.
You told me before the video started that you just kind of got a revamped website and everything. And I think it's very easy to get to all the places. And I do like how there's not, just a ton of, information and stuff like that where it can be, overwhelming. You have your different segments and different areas that are pretty simple. And I love the fact of, the stories, and I wish, or I should say, I hope that, more and more keep getting added to that because I do love to see that. So
completely agree. And like I said, please follow us, follow Make-A-Wish Nebraska and Make-A-Wish America, but Make-A-Wish Nebraska, we do share so many of those local stories, if a family is comfortable with it, of course, and gives us permission, but we love sharing our local stories. And right now, especially because travel wishes have been put on hold, we have had some families changing what their wishes. And boy, we've got some really creative wishes happening. We have a treehouse wish coming up. We have a play structure with a chicken coop. Just did a wish with a young man who wanted to buy some computer type equipment because his goal is to be an investor. He's 19 and he's remarkable. And so we just shared pictures from his wish. And yeah, we've got some just really cool wishes. We are starting in the works for a young man who wants a fire station playhouse. So we are starting to reach out to hopefully some local partners that will help us make that happen. So I think while the pandemic has been so difficult on so many people for so many reasons, I think one of the consequences that has been positive is that we are getting to do more local wishes, which means we get to engage people in our mission and they get to understand it in a way that maybe they don't when they just, again, read a story. Those are great and they're powerful, but it's a different energy when you actually get to be on hand with one. Yeah.
And I feel, obviously traveling for wishes and, going other places, that you can't really take an experience like that away from somebody, but I feel there is a sense of pride when it comes to now that they're having to be more local. Almost everything you talked about was something that these kids are going to be able to use and play with every single day. And they may not have thought of choosing that type of wish before, but since that's what, for the most part, they're having to go with now, I bet, when you're able to enjoy something like that every day, rather than just a short period of time, like I said, not that wouldn't be amazing, but I think that's really special too, that Make-A-Wish can, and they're able to do something like that. So when it comes to, obviously Make-A-Wish has a lot of, sponsors and help and things. So unless you want to, highlight some, but, just talking on, the sponsorship and volunteers and everything like that. How does Make-A-Wish Nebraska do that?
Absolutely. I knew when I came to Make-A-Wish 10 years ago, I would love the kids and the families. What I didn't realize was how and also inspired I would be by those donors and by those volunteers that give so endlessly of themselves, right? So we have sometimes it's things that you never think you're going to be reaching out on somebody, like an investor wish, so we reached out to a gentleman by the name of Mark, who started investing when he was in college, and he has a great story. And so I said, and I didn't know him at all, I just knew his story. And so I called him and just said, hey, I don't know if you would be interested, but would you be willing to come have lunch with this young man, or a short meeting or a video call or anything, to just kind of give him some tips or some lessons learned? And boy, I got a call back immediately, and he was so gracious and willing to come do that. And that was super exciting. And so one of the things that, again, I didn't even know existed, we have the Corvette Club, and there's different car clubs around. And we have some remote control cars for a wish that we're going to be doing coming up in a couple of weeks. And so we're going to do a big car parade. And we have learned about car clubs that we didn't even know existed, which is super cool. And these people are so willing to give up a Saturday afternoon and come drive by just to make this young man's day. So it's really, I'm going to say limitless. We obviously partner with local businesses like Red Door to be sponsors at our events. And ultimately that's helping grant wishes, right? But we also sometimes are just, again, partnering with people in really strange ways. We're reaching out to artifacts for t-shirts for this, race car wish. And yet we just try to say, like, how can we make this a really special and unique experience for this wish? What is it about this wish child that makes them so special? And sometimes we also have to rein it in, because some wish kids do not want to be the center of attention. They've been the center of attention, maybe because of their illness, and they have not liked that. And then we have kids that really do eat it up. So we kind of really try to look at the energy and the temperament of the child and what they're comfortable with, and take our lead from that, but also really hit on those favorites. Even if they don't want a big car parade, how can we still make this a special experience, unique just to them? And truthfully, we would do that. Obviously, Disney is such a great partner of ours, and we can't wait to send kids back there. But not every kid goes to Disney World for the same reasons. And so we really do try to make each one custom to who that child is.
Yeah. And I think that says something, I say this a lot in my videos, but I truly do mean it every time, is Nebraska, there's just something about as many opportunities as even an individual can get to help a person, with anything they want to. So many people are willing to help, but sometimes it's so hard to, okay, what can I help with, and when and where? And so I think that's something that, Make-A-Wish has a lot of events, and they need help, year round and everything. So when it comes to Make-A-Wish Nebraska, what do you have coming up that you're really excited about?
Yeah, we're excited to hopefully be getting to start to do some in-person events. So we have got coming up in September our Wine, Whiskey, and Wishes. We do that. Our Young Leaders Council plans that. We are scheduled to be at Wilderness Ridge, and there will probably be some adjustments that we make as we're kind of navigating how do we do an in-person event, but still make sure we keep people safe. And we all know September in the pandemic, timeline is a really long ways away. So we will just get creative, but we're excited to have people hopefully back in person again. Up in our Omaha office, we have their gala, the Blue Jean Ball, is happening August 14th. And so again, working to hopefully have that in person. And then our Kearney office is also hosting an in-person gala, which is just a few days after Blue Jean Ball. So we're excited to get to bring people together across the state in the name of our mission again. And like I said, locally, we've got Wine, Whiskey, and Wishes coming up. We have a couple of golf tournaments that have happened in our honor that are both coming up in June. One's at Hillcrest Country Club and one's at Lincoln Federal Savings Bank has theirs every year. And so we are just really looking forward to, again, seeing people in person again. We know at these events we will not have Wish Kids present. That is something always we will put the Wish Child safety, but we still hope to be able to really share our mission. Again, I think that's one thing we've learned is that we can still capture our story and our mission through video, and it's still powerful.
Yeah. And I think one thing to let everyone else know from somebody on the outside is you can never give too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it earlier, you know, people that donate $5 or $10, you know, on a monthly basis, you know, time obviously is worth more than, you know, money itself. And so volunteering, things like that, giving up your time, it's never enough really when it comes to what these guys need. And they do such a great job at everything, and all these events they run very professionally as well. And so I commend you guys for doing stuff, especially during all this, making all these wishes still happen. So Melissa, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your history and Make-A-Wish Nebraska. And I hope we can continue to help as the years go by.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul, again, for the opportunity to share what we're about, and that we are still granting wishes, but it's because of partners like you guys is why we're able to do this. It is absolutely a village making the wishes come true.